A lot of things make buying a GM truck, van, or SUV an excellent idea. GM gives you more power, more reliability, and more options. One of those options is an Eaton G80 locking differential instead of just the standard open differential. It puts more power where you need it the most. But don't take my word for it. Let me show you how an Eaton G80 locking differential keeps you moving. Whether you're on mud, ice, on top of a big clump of snow, on a slick hill, or even in midair balancing on boulders. Trust me, if you ever plan to drive on wet or icy surfaces, on hills or rough terrain, you'll be so glad you have an Eaton G80 locking differential under you.
The Eaton G80 automatic locking rear differential sends the power where you need it, when you need it. And it does that automatically. Unlike four-wheel drive systems that send power from one side of the rear axle to the same side of the front axle, the G80 sends power across the axle to the opposite side of the vehicle. As soon as a difference of 100 RPMs is detected, the G80 locks the axle, sending power to the opposite wheel. Now, we're going to show you how the G80 keeps you moving while other systems, like four-wheel drive and limited slip differentials, simply spin their wheels. First, the water trough. Here we'll pit the Dodge Dakota, Toyota Tacoma, and Ford Ranger, all four-wheel drive equipped, against a G80-equipped Chevy Colorado GMC Canyon, first with two-wheel drive, then four-wheel drive. The water trough simulates a slick or snow-covered surface on the drive wheel side of the vehicle, something you might encounter when pulling up next to a mailbox in winter. As you watch this demonstration, be sure to notice the time-lapse indicator in the lower right-hand corner of the screen. First, the four-wheel drive Dodge. Now, the four-wheel drive Ford Ranger. And next, the four-wheel drive Toyota Tacoma. Now, the Colorado Canyon, first with two-wheel drive, now with four-wheel drive. As the power differential reaches 100 RPM, the G80 locks the axle, and torque is also sent to the opposite wheel. That's the power of the G80. As you can see, the G80 makes all the difference. Next, you see the 20% grade test. The rollers are there to simulate a slick surface on a hill. Again, we'll show you the three competitors with their four-wheel drive engaged, then the Colorado Canyon in both two-wheel drive and four-wheel drive. The four-wheel drive Dodge Dakota. Next, the four-wheel drive Ranger. And finally, the four-wheel drive Tacoma. Now, watch the two-wheel drive Colorado Canyon. And finally, the Colorado Canyon with four-wheel drive engaged. Again, it's no competition. Okay, our last demonstration is the twist ditch. Here we simulate a rugged off-road situation. Someplace four-wheel drive should excel, right? Well, take a look. First, the Ford Ranger with its four-wheel drive engaged. Notice, even with three wheels on the ground, there isn't enough traction to get the truck moving at a reasonable rate. Now, the Dodge Dakota four-wheel drive. Same thing. And here's the Toyota Tacoma getting nowhere fast. Now the Colorado Canyon with the G80. Now the four-wheel drive Colorado Canyon with the G80. Notice how the locking differential automatically senses wheel slippage and locks the axle, sending power to both wheels for immediate traction. Now, we should mention that the Toyota Tacoma does offer an electronic rear locking differential, but it can only be engaged in low gear. It must be turned off and on manually, and the vehicle has to be stopped to engage it. And it can't be used over 5 miles per hour. It should be obvious, the G80 is the way to go. It offers near four-wheel drive performance from a two-wheel drive and substantially increases the capabilities of four-wheel drive.
Side-by-side position. 3, 2, 1.
What happens in a real-world test of truck capabilities that matter most to real-world truck buyers?
Here we go.
Well, you're about to find out. When we put the 2011 Silverado HD up against the 2011 Ford Super Duty and the 2011 Ram HD, head-to-head, in real situations that matter most in the real world.
I don't think we're going to make it.
These are authentic tests.
Wow.
Conducted and certified by AMCI Testing, an independent testing firm engaged by Chevy.
Hi there, I'm Howie Long, and this is Rick Spina from Chevrolet. Rick knows a whole bunch about trucks, and in particular Chevy trucks, which is a good thing, because today we're going to put the Chevy Silverado HD up against the competition head-to-head. What do you got, Rick?
You know, Howie, durability, dependability, strength. That's what's key to a heavy-duty truck, right?
Yep.
Let's watch. 2,400 pounds of concrete. Let's put it in the back of this Silverado HD.
Looks like it held up pretty well.
Just as I expected. That's what a heavy-duty truck is supposed to do. Now let's put that same 2,400 pounds in a Ford.
Oh, big difference.
Big difference.
Now tell me why the Super Duty didn't hold up so well and the Silverado held up real well.
Remember I told you, durability, strength,
right?
Core to our truck, right?
Mm-hmm.
We focused on this all-new chassis, beefier frame, rear suspension is beefier, rear springs are 20% wider. But I want to show you something else. I got more here. We've barely scratched the surface of what these trucks can handle. I want to put a trailer on the back of these trucks.
All right,
let's look at it. Now, we're going to add to the load on these trucks, right? We've got 2,400 pounds of concrete in the Chevy Silverado and a Super Duty.
Held up well so far.
Yep. 10,000 pound construction trailer, 400 pound tongue load. We're going to drop it on each one.
Wow.
We're starting with the Chevy.
No place to hide here.
Nope. So as you start to see the load of the trailer transfer to the truck, take a look at what the attitude of the truck does.
Hey, what, Chevy's looking pretty good.
Yep.
Super Duty's already sagging.
Yeah, like I said, this trailer is about 10,000 pounds, tandem trailer, 400 pound tongue load. This is a very typical load for trucks like this. What do you see?
Well, you can see the front end of the Super Duty just picked right up, and Chevy's on a nice even plane.
As that nose goes up, right, it changes the dynamics of the truck.
Bumper sag test with a 400-pound tongue weight. Chevy Silverado HD showed a sag of 3.9 inches, Ford Super Duty showed a sag of 6.3 inches.
Again, strength, one of the core values of the truck. To show you, I want to do something else too. I think you'll really like this next test.
I can't wait for your next trick.
Let's go after
All
it.
right. Hi there, I'm Howie Long, and this is Rick Spina from Chevrolet. Rick knows a whole bunch about trucks, and in particular Chevy trucks, which is a good thing, because today we're going to put the Chevy Silverado HD up against the competition head-to-head. What do you got, Rick?
Howie, what we're going to do here, 3,000 pounds of payload in this truck. We're going to take it up a fairly extreme test here. It's a simulated twist stitch. Watch the way the truck handles it. Remember, we're looking at strength.
And we're looking at the level of the bed.
Exactly.
So far, so good.
Yep. Now we really start to twist it good here.
Yeah, I've been there.
Now, give the gate a try.
Okay. Wow.
Not bad, huh?
Piece of cake.
Now we're going to try and do the same thing with the Super Duty and see how we make out there.
All right.
Okay.
Let's do it. All right. Moment of truth.
You got it.
Wow, look at the twist on that bed. Oh. I hope this isn't a rental.
Yeah, or coming out of my check. Give the gate a shot.
We're going to have a hard time returning it. I can't budge it.
Yeah, it's in stress here. You said you've been in this position
I've been
before,
in this
right?
position, and it's not good.
No, it's got to hurt.
Yeah.
We got a couple more tests to do now.
Okay.
On the 3/4 ton trucks, we'll run the same kind of test.
Great.
Right?
Let's do it.
We took a look at the dualies on the twist stitch. Now we're going to look at the Silverado 2500 HD and the Ford F250.
Okay. So what do we got going on, Guy?
Well, we're set up to measure the torsional rigidity of these two frames. The first step in this test is we've attached a couple of pointers, one to the cab of the truck and the other to the bed.
Right.
And we're going to run the vehicles up our frame twister, and we're going to see what misalignment occurs, if any, and we'll be able to measure that based on these two pointers.
Seems simple to me. I like it. Let's do it.
Simple test.
All right.
All right, take her up.
Boy, not a lot of movement.
Nope. Little spread. She comes back. A little bit the other way. Get the tire off the ground.
Silverado HD, it's a 1/4 of an inch.
Well, I'll tell you what, Guy, it looks pretty good.
Looks good.
Hey, let's give the Ford a try.
Let's do it.
Okay? F250 Super Duty. Let's see how we do.
Okay. Wow. That's a big difference.
Yeah, it's moving. We come back. We start twisting the truck the other way.
Wow. Just to the naked eye, that's a big difference. I mean, I'm no engineer, but that looks like a problem.
Ford Super Duty, 1.1 inch alignment change.
So, Rick, why does this happen to the Ford Super Duty and not to the Silverado HD?
Well, on the HD, we've gone to a high-strength steel frame, fully boxed, front to rear, all the way through. You know, my engineers do the calculations. They tell me that in torsional rigidity, we're more than 30 times stiffer than the Ford.
So if you drove the Ford Super Duty into a big ditch...
Let's put it this way. With the Chevy Silverado's independent front suspension, I'd rather take that one.
Me too. Hi there, I'm Howie Long, and this is Rick Spina, the truck guy from Chevy. We're here to put the new Chevy Silverado HD up against the competition. What do we got going on today, Rick?
We're going to go head-to-head on passing power, Howie.
Okay.
Come on, take a look at this.
All right.
We're up here in Bishop, so we're going to run this test at altitude on a 7% grade. heavier trucks this time. This test is a passing test, but we're going to use this semi.
Whoa.
We're going to run one truck at a time. The idea is to get up to speed out and around that semi and tuck back in. But to make it more interesting, there'll be a slow-moving snowplow in the left lane. If you can't pass quickly enough, you got to get hard on the brakes, tuck back behind. And you're going to ride in the test trucks.
Was this in my contract?
Pretty sure it is now. Come
Let's
on.
go.
This is George.
Hey, George. Hi, how you doing?
George, fill Howie in on what's going on here.
All right. These are all one-ton heavy-duty trucks, and the trailer behind us is loaded to 16,500 pounds. That's over 8 tons, and that's a lot of weight.
You know, Silverado HD is rated at over 10 tons worth of towing. I told you it's going to be fun.
All right. Okay, so now we're headed up the hill. We're going to make a run at passing the semi, going up a 7% incline, towing 16,000 plus pounds behind us. Get it done. Marker. Okay, coming up the passing marker. Here we go. Boy, I'll tell you what, the acceleration's great. We're blowing by the semi. Okay, here we come. We've got that big snow plow with the blinking lights up ahead. Are we gonna make it? That was a piece of cake. Okay, let's take it back and see how the Ram performs. Okay, we just got in the Ram. We're headed out for the test, and same scenario as we ran with the Chevy. So here we go. We're gonna make our move. With the Chevy, we pass this thing with ease. Not quite the same acceleration. We're kind of plodding along here. I don't think we're gonna make it. Yeah, good move. As you saw earlier, we had no problem with the Chevy. In the Ram, we really struggled. So we're gonna go back, we're gonna take a look at what happens with the Ford. Okay, we're in the Ford Super Duty. Same test as the Ram, same test as the Chevy. Kind of feels like we're laboring up the hill a little bit. Oh boy, this is gonna be tight. Nope. Brad, if I were you, I'd brake. Let the semi go by. So once again, Chevy did it no problem, Ram struggled, now the Ford Super Duty struggled. Clear winner, Chevy.
Silverado HD takes 2,565 feet to go from 30 to 55 miles per hour and pass the semi. Ford and Ram were unable to reach 55 miles per hour.
Well, that was interesting. Now I know why you volunteered to put me in the Ford and the Ram. It's obvious that Silverado HD is the only heavy duty that can pass these tests. So why did the Ford and the Ram struggle to even get up to speed?
I can't tell you a lot about the Ford and the Ram. I can tell you a lot about Silverado HD. You know, the guys developing this truck paid attention to every detail that it took to excel in exactly these tests that you just went through and witnessed, right? On a grade, on a flat. Up here at altitude, back down at sea level.
We've done it all.
Big load, small load. You know, it's the most capable tool in the toolbox. It's the Chevy, right? Dependable, long-lasting. I'm really proud of it.
And on behalf of truckers everywhere, thanks.
Thank you.
All right.
Come on.
Hi there, I'm Howie Long, and this is Rick Spina from Chevrolet. We're here to put the Chevy Silverado HD up against the competition. Rick, I see you're loading the bed. What are you up to?
We're testing the braking power of these heavy-duty trucks. You know, our team has worked hard to make Chevy Silverado HD capable and secure.
So braking power is about security.
Exactly. You know, there's always a temptation with a heavy-duty truck to focus on torque and horsepower, but it's not enough. A great truck has to be able to bring a heavy load to a stop.
Safely and under control.
Exactly.
Okay, so what do we got?
Here's the situation. Got 1-ton trucks, 3,000-pound payloads. We're going to accelerate to 70 miles an hour maximum braking to a dead stop.
Let's go do it.
Well, when we normally do brake testing, we employ a cool-down period between each run. And when we do that, we see that the Silverado and the F350 stop in a statistically similar distance, basically a tie. But what we decided to do was try to come up with a real-world scenario that would tax the brakes, simulate something like downhill towing, for instance, where the brakes get really hot. And to do that, we did 10 back-to-back braking sequences without any cool-down period at all, so the brakes had no rest. We see that the Silverado stops in the same distance it stopped at, basically, when the brakes were cold. But the Ford takes a lot longer to stop. Brake fade. Let's see it.
About to get into the brakes here. Boom.
Wow! What happened?
You know, brake performance, it's all about managing heat. Okay, in this case, Chevy Silverado, with its larger components, handled the heat better.
Okay, so Silverado fade 0 and F350 fade 75.7 feet.
You know, heat's a brake system's worst nightmare, too. It really can wear them down.
Which means you have to replace them fast.
Yeah, and brake replacement adds to the cost of ownership, sure. But it's more than that. Brake fade is a real serious safety concern. Now, the Chevy Silverado HD has worked hard to optimize the entire brake system. Bigger calipers, bigger rotors, shorter pedal travel, increased hydro boost pressures. All this translates to better control, safer braking in the real world.
Now, this is a brake test on level ground.
Yeah.
What happens when you raise the stakes? You're towing a loaded trailer downhill. What then?
You want to raise the stakes?
Yeah.
Let's do it.
All right, let's do it.
Come on.
So here we are in Bishop, California, at high altitude. We're here to do a real exhaust braking test. Right, Rick?
You know, Silverado's a proven winner on acceleration and passing. That's kind of like the offense of a good heavy-duty truck, right? The defense, the braking system.
I like it.
I thought you might. We're here in the mountains. We've got big trailers with big loads behind them.
Yeah.
We're going to see just how well the exhaust braking systems on these trucks work.
Now, the exhaust braking system, is that like a Jake brake on a semi?
Yeah, it's a lot like
Kind
that.
of shocked I knew that.
I'm kind of shocked.
So am I.
Let's go inside. I'll tell you a little more.
All right.
Howie, an effective exhaust brake keeps your rig at or below a desired speed while you're descending a grade.
Kind of important.
Very important. Silverado HD's got a couple of systems that work together to help do this. Tow haul mode and automatic grade braking system that's in the transmission. It's kind of an algorithm. They work together to keep you from starting to run away downhill. What's really new here is an exhaust brake system that uses back pressure through the Duramax diesel system to hold you back. It's kind of like a turbocharger working in reverse.
Wow.
Yeah, works real well.
That's a lot of rock, George. What do you got going on?
Well, each truck will be hauling a trailer weighing 16,500 pounds. We'll be going down a 7% grade at an approximate altitude of 6,000 feet. We're going to start the test by each truck going exactly 50 miles per hour, and then we'll set the exhaust brakes and see what happens after we travel 2,000 feet down the grade. An effective exhaust brake should keep the trucks from accelerating downhill.
So 16,500 pounds, down that kind of a decline at this altitude. You're going to tell me that's going to work. You're confident.
16,500 is a lot, Howie. You know, Silverado HD is rated at over 10 tons worth of towing. So I say we ought to give this thing a roll.
All right, are you nervous?
No, but you're going for a ride.
Oh, I'm going for a ride.
You're going for a ride.
All
I'm
right.
not nervous at all.
I'm trusting you, George.
Okay, gentlemen, side-by-side position, 50 miles per hour. Tow haul mode engaged. Exhaust brake engaged, Chevy Silverado. Prepare to downshift, my start mark. 3, 2, 1, braking.
Ford seems to be picking up speed.
Ford's just walking away from us. Obviously, their exhaust brake is not working as well.
And this is not the race you want to win.
At the end of the run, the Chevrolet Silverado HD's exhaust brake did a fine job, nearing 44 miles per hour. The Ford F350's exhaust brake was not able to hold the trailer and rig to 50 miles an hour. In fact, it accelerated to 56 miles per hour.
Huh?
Silverado HD was great.
Yeah.
What happened to the Ford?
I can't really explain why the Ford exhaust brake doesn't get the job done in this test. I just know that it doesn't.
Well, when an exhaust brake does work well, like it did on the Silverado, the driver doesn't have to pump the brake as much going down the hill.
It really saves a lot of wear and tear on the service brakes, for sure.
And on the driver, you're a lot more confident, you feel safe, particularly pulling that kind of load going down a hill.
Yeah, you know, whenever we work on a new Silverado, we got some clear vision on this thing, right? Strong, capable, safe and secure, long-lasting. It's a kind of a truck that you can count on in pretty much any situation, right? It's really all we want in a truck.
Rick, I think this is the beginning of a beautiful friendship.
Hey, all right. You and me, or you and Silverado?
Let's go.
All right.